Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Um, True mental cosmic peace. This is Neb, Nine Safa Nupuel. And I'm transmitting live right now in direct, going live for the first time on YouTube. So, um, of course, in the past 2 weeks, I saw people talking about the movie Bird Box on Facebook. So, I decided to check out the movie, and so I watched the movie like twice. And so, since I've watched the movie, you know, I would pay attention to what I saw people posting on Facebook, on social media about what they learned from the movie or what they saw in the movie. But I never saw anybody really talking about uh, what I was seeing in the movie, you know, and that's what I'm gonna talk about today. The title of this is called Bird Box Decoded, and so I'm gonna talk about what's hidden within the layers right there. I mean, it's right before your eyes, but if you haven't been steeped enough in your studies as far as occult knowledge, then you won't see the obvious that's before your eyes. So in the movie, you know, it's a massive outbreak of people that just start committing suicide, and so as the movie progresses, you know, it progresses actually pretty quickly into people committing suicide and killing themselves. Because first, it's pretty far off. It's in Russia, or whatnot, and then it seems like pretty quickly it reaches United States of America. But anyway, the people start killing themselves in United States of America in the movie, and so what I noticed that this this energy that they was dealing with was a form of dark matter, and this dark matter, it's like scientists have said that more than 98 to 99% of the universe is unseen as dark matter, or what they refer to as antimatter. Um, in some of the more ancient scriptures, like the Holy Quran, they refer to the unseen, which the unseen is dark matter. They refer to it as al gaib. Al gaib is the unseen, and so it was talking about some unseen forces or entities, and so at another point in the movie, they're in the house. They finally get out of the house, because the one lady, Sandra Bullock, she escapes after her friend crashes the vehicle trying to kill them both, and she walks in front of a car, and not a car, but actually a bus. She walked in front of, and she's killed or whatever, and so that woman that came outside trying to save her life, and she ends up losing her life or whatever, because she looked at the entities or whatever, and it overtook her body, and so anyway, uh once they are inside the house there, you know you know you on the outside, and so you have like two people come to get in the house. First it's like a pregnant European lady, and then later on it's an older European guy. So by the time they let this European guy into the house, um he seems okay at first, but this guy, once he gets inside the house, you know, he starts acting strange and whatnot. And, you know, uh, the birds that the lady had, those birds, they could pick up on the energy of that unseen force those entities. And so these entities, which were unseen, no one ever saw them in the movie, except when this guy, that last person they let in the house, you know, I remember when he had started acting strange and whatnot, in the house or whatever, he took first he put the birds the refrigerator or freezer or whatever it was, so they wouldn't be tripping and bring no alarm. And so then after he did that, he goes to take out these drawings. So he takes out these drawings and he lays the drawings like on the table. And so when he lays the drawings on the table, that's when it became apparent to me of what we actually dealing with here in this movie. So he lays the drawings out, and all the drawings that he laid out was from a book. It's attributed to H.P. Lovecraft. It's called the Necronomicon, and so um, the Necronomicon, if you go get a copy of it, there's various copies, and they have a real cheap one that you can find at like Barnes and Nobles. I think it's only about $3 or $4. You can get it on online at Amazon too, about the same price, $3 or $4. But anyway, if you take this book, the Necronomicon is said to be a heavy occult book. And the one that I'm talking about is a mixture of the teachings of Aleister Crowley and H.P. Lovecraft. But the original Necronomicon was inscribed by a man, Abdul Hazard, and they called him the Mad Arab, and it's named Al Azif. That was the name of it, Al Azif. And so in this book, they talk about a race of elder beings. They refer to them as the old ones. Okay, and then they also talk about the beings in the from the Sumerian tablets, the Gilgamesh epics, the Epic of Tammuz and Ishtar, the Lost Book of Enki. They talk about Anu, Enlil, Enki, Nergal, or Rescagal. Their names is mentioned in there, but it's all kind of sigils and and chants that you can do to bring these entities from the other side back into this realm. And and so basically what you're dealing with in this movie, that they were dealing with, because I remember the guy said something happened with something with him and his colleagues or whatever. So they really didn't go too much into what happened with him and his colleagues and how these entities began to possess man. But I'm gonna get into this part of it. So uh, these beings from the Necronomicon, the demonic entities, is what they are, you know, and whether you're talking about the old ones that they refer to them as, or if you're talking about the Anunnakis, they refer to both those races of beings in the Necronomicon. And you have a group over in Europe they call CERN, and CERN is made of com- have super computers, and they're using these quantum computers with these colliders to open vortexes to tap into things in the universe, into other realms and other worlds beyond the physical dimension, unseen realm of what I was referring to as Al Gaib. And so uh, these things, are very dangerous because I watched a video on YouTube. The guy from CERN, he was giving a lecture to people, and he was literally telling them that, like, yeah, we're gonna open these vortexes, and we're gonna literally like bring the demons through. We're gonna bring the old ones through, and we're gonna have these entities, inhabit the AI, the artificial intelligence, and inhabit the robots, and they're gonna control these robots for us and whatnot. And so this thing, is very dangerous. Some people take it lightly, but it's nothing to really be taken lightly at all, because you know Man did not create these demonic entities. These demonic entities were created by the sustainer of the boundless universe. And so, how can man control something that he did not create? You know, and it's impossible, to control something that you did not create. But these people, they are ego driven, and they think that they can control something which they did not create. You know, and so I'm just revealing some of the hidden layers, of what I saw within that movie, because definitely, like, it was demonic forces who would basically like just pillaging on the human beings and just killing them off, like it was just killing them off and taking them over. And the ones that didn't get killed, they became possessed with these entities, when they was walking around in human form, doing they debauchery or whatever, and so yeah, it's nothing to be taken lightly at all. So um if a person wants to look into what I'm saying, I think you should do some research, on your own, independent research, and look into what I'm saying. You can check out like H.P. Lovecraft book, um, the Necronomicon, but it's a very dangerous book. I would not recommend you reciting any of the names or doing any of the chants in that particular book, because they give you a warning in the beginning of the book that they are not responsible for you for anything that happens to you if you choose to perform any of the rituals in this book. And you should also look into Aleister Crowley, look into him too as well. you know um and last but not least, I'm going to mention this, and I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I was once a student. I studied the teachings of Dr. Malachi Z. York. And Dr. Malachi Z. York, I remember him talking about the old ones in a letter from 2004 that he had wrote from prison, because I remember he said that the old ones had came back, you know. And so at the time, I thought he was talking about like some race of extraterrestrial or something that may have been good beings or something like that. And also in the early '90s, when I was studying with him under HTM after Ansarul Law School, I noticed that he would teach us a lot about the Sumerian deities and whatnot, Anu, Enlil, and Enki, all of them like Anu, Enlil, Enki, Nergal, Aristogal, and whatnot, and talking about the Anunnakis. But even at some point, he himself he said that the Anunnaki were not good beings, because I can remember when he said that, he had also said that in a letter that he had wrote, because he referred to the bad ones amongst them as the Shum Gal. That's what he had said. So Dr. York had kind of exposed us a little bit to that. I just didn't know that at the time that these entities, were not good ever. And so here, I see this movie where these people, are being overtaken by these entities. And like I say, it wasn't until the guy he had laid the pictures. If you go back and watch the movie again, you'll see he'll lay out some diagrams. And so if you can get a copy of the Necronomicon, like a PDF or anything, you can or whatever, you can just flip through it and look at the drawings. And a lot of those drawings that's in that book can be found within the drawings that that man had placed on the table, you know. And so yeah, it's definitely some type of hidden agenda, I would think, because they're trying to expose people to demonic forces, and they're not just really keeping it real and being straight up about what it is. And so yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to drop that piece of knowledge, just a little bit, and you can research what I was saying here. So salam, hotep, and namaste, peace and blessings.